Oh, good.
Give us a clap, Ethan. Welcome back to the Backcountry Pa Podcast. This is the last day of Ohio.
Yeah.
So, as you heard last episode, we had to try and find Ethan's buck. The real question, did we find his buck? You will find out on this episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. Ethan.
So, I mean, at this point, I feel like most of you already know this. If you follow the page
IG account,
or myself, which you should go follow me. Yeah, we found the buck. And let me tell you, that was, overall, we'll get to that at some point, but overall, I think this whole weekend has been one hell of an emotional roller coaster for both of us together. But Cody wanted to go hunt this morning, the 12th, October 12th.
Yep.
He wanted to go hunt. I obviously was on a mission to go find my deer. So Cody left before I did. He went to his spot. I got to my spot actually a little early. So I sat in my car until it got light out because I was like, I'm not ruining Cody's hunt. Just in case you had someone through.
Yeah.
But as soon as it got light enough to see, I hightailed it right to where we saw Last Blood.
Yep.
Last Blood was still there.
Little dot on a leaf.
Yeah, it was a dot
Yep.
on a leaf. That was the last one. And I double-checked the road. I went right into, like, the grassy stuff. Got super excited for half of a second because I saw this big rock, this little boulder.
Yep.
Between the brush, it looked like my deer. I got excited. But then, obviously, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I went right, and I was like, all right, no blood, nothing. Went left, into the woods. Like, everything in my gut was saying, he's in here somewhere. Went in the woods. I mean, I went this way, 30 yards, nothing. This way. I found pushed up leaves. I tried to follow those pushed up leaves. I was down the whole way to the bottom. I jumped another deer, and I didn't see its head, so my first thought was, shit.
That was him.
It was him.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I'll go down to where he was, or it, because I don't know, again, I don't know what it was, and I'll follow where it ran, see if there's bleeding, nothing. And then at that point, you text me and said, do you have any? I said, dude, I haven't found anything, no blood. And you were like, I'm coming. So I said, all right. So I'll walk. I just started grid searching at that point. And I started walking up. And the thing that caught my eye was a balloon. So I just walked up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just did. What, 10 yards?
Not even 10
Not
yards
even?
from it. Like
5
maybe
yards?
5, yeah.
5 yards from that, I see a dead body. My buck. And I was like, called you right away.
Yep.
I was like, he's here.
And at that point, I was literally, by the time you called me, I was literally out of the tree and down already, like packing things up.
Yeah. So you're like, go out, wait for me, and then we'll go in and get him.
Yep.
So I'm not going to lie, it was a little tough to walk right past him and wait for you because I was like, he's right there. I just want to touch his antlers.
Yeah.
But I went out, waited for you, and then we walked in together.
Yep.
I got him. We kind of assessed the situation of like what he was. 100 yards from Last Blood.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Not even. It was like because when we left the night before, I looked down with my headlamp and I saw eyes in pretty much the exact location that he was at.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I think with this shot that Ethan didn't try this obviously, but like it was high and it came out guts, and the guts like acted as like a clot.
A plug, yeah.
And didn't let anything come out.
Yeah, he internally bled.
Yep.
That's the only way he died.
And that's why he bedded down right there, and the only blood that was really there was in his bed by a Mylar balloon.
Yeah. So I was like, shit, there he is. So as much as it hurt me in the moment, backing out was the smartest and best decision.
Yep.
And now, and I tell you, like I talked on last episode, how I had that knot in my chest. The second I saw him, it just, poof, disappeared.
Yep. It like stress relieved off your shoulder. Yeah, it's nice to like, especially because like we kind of as hunters we go into a blackout stage and we're like you don't really realize if you hit, where you hit, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, you get that not until that walk up on them. Yeah. Bless you. Bless you. Wow. Okay, you're not
There's
getting
a third one.
Nope, you're not getting a third.
That's understandable. I gotta control myself here.
So yeah, we found Ethan's buck, and then we had the long drag out, which shout out to our good friend Cody Kelly.
Yes.
Came and helped us with that, and my wife for buying me a jet sled.
Yep. I mean, it still sucked, but that was so much better than.
It was a less level of suck.
Yes.
So that was eventful morning.
Yeah, and it's nice. Got the buck in the back of the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to put all 4 windows down.
Yeah.
In order to.
bad.
Oh God, it still kind of smells. To be honest, the poor car is going to get a deep cleanse when she gets home.
Yeah. So and then luckily Cody had a connection with a butcher, and we took the deer to a butcher shop, and Ethan's getting it quartered up.
Yeah, just gonna quarter it up.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna get a European mount for it. And
Yep. And we know all you people are gonna say, well, you can't take the brain across state lines. Well, you know what? Oh well. You know the brain's gonna be thrown out anyway. It's not.
It's gonna get eaten by bugs.
Nothing's gonna be eating the brain anyway. So then, as we're doing that, Cody's like, "Hey, let me give you a spot," because he wasn't sure if he'd be able to make it out because he had some things happen that he didn't know if he was going to make it out, but he wanted to try and get us in an area for me to possibly shoot a deer. With shout out to that because that was huge.
Came in clutch.
Yeah. So we came back here to our camp, ate some lunch, got another shower because we were sweaty.
Oh, that was so gross.
And we didn't want to go into the woods smelling like that. So
we got 2 showers today.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we jumped in the truck and drove down to the piece, parked there. We were supposed to take a hiking trail in. We did not find the hiking trail right away. We found a deer trail, walked that, found some good sign up there, found feeding sign, scrapes, and we were like, well, this is not the area that we want to be in. So we found the hiking trail, started following that out. Did exactly what Cody said to do, and it was hard getting over there, but in the end I think it was worth it because the access was perfect. We didn't jump anything, we didn't booger anything up before we actually got to our spot.
Right.
So we took which we found some amazing sign down the creek bed. Like that there's some good sign down there that we're now going to give to Cody.
Oh, and
in case he doesn't have
that
bed was. You got video of that, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I got video. That bed, if you guys could see that bed in person, it is like we always talk about, or everyone talks about, like a buck will bed where they feel most protected and like nothing can get them from behind. They can see in front of them. They can smell. This bed was literally bulletproof.
It was bulletproof. Like even if you get behind him, it'd be hard because he would jump out of there. And like he didn't really only had 2 exit routes. The one we went in on.
Yep.
And the one we went out on.
Yeah.
So like he only has 2 exit routes, but it's like that's one thing. He doesn't have an exit route behind him. So like if you come in front of him, you know which way he's leaving then. But I don't know. It was a very cool bed to see. Like you knew it was a bed too. Like it wasn't like like that was just randomly put there like that. Like it was a bed.
Yes.
That was clearly a bed. But yeah, so that was cool to see that. The first time, like that's a very mature buck bed. Put it that way. That's
isolated very much.
Down there, he has everything coming down to him. Mm-hmm. Like all the thermals coming down to him. He'd
smell and hear everything even before they come in on him.
Way before. So it was pretty cool to see that. And then so we keep going through there. We find where we're going. We walk through a bunch of thick stuff. That's the first time, like Ryan Glitzky, like he posts things about him bleeding when he walks through thorns. Like this is the first time that I'm actually like bleeding from thorns.
Oh,
like we were in it today.
I couldn't keep up with Cody. I am a wimp when it comes to greenbriers.
I think I had a briar prick me in the dick, and I kept pushing.
You kept
pushing. I was like,
see, you're tougher than I am because I would have been in the fetal position done.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we got closer to where we wanted to go and found a 4-wheeler trail, which in PA you don't find these on public land. You don't find 4-wheeler trails flattening out areas and man-made bridges over creeks. So that was pretty cool to see, I guess. So we used it to our advantage.
Yep.
got up to the flat where Cody was like, hey, you got to check this area out. I made a mock scrape up here. This is where I killed. If you listen to the prior episode with him on, I forget the number right now off the top of my head, but that buck he killed very close to where we were tonight, actually on the other side of that drainage.
Yep.
So we walk up here. Right away we see some scrapes. So we're like, okay, we keep going up. We keep following this deer trail, and it was like starting to make a loop towards the drainage and go over the drainage, but then you had a piece that cut up. Like we could see trails going up. So I was like, well, it looks like some cut up from this too. And it looked like they were feeding as well. So we cut up that way, found some, like 3 more big scrapes.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan and I both, there was 2 above and below each other. Ethan peed on the one that was below us.
Yep.
I peed on the one that was above.
Yeah.
So
make sure there was no trail cameras
right
this time.
Yes. Yeah, we double checked. So then I was like, there's 2 more scrapes up here, and it got open. I was like, this is where we got to set up. So I found a nice double tree set up with my saddle platform, the Invader, and then the Latitude and X2s. I got 4.6 high. Ethan brought the Coal World in, X3s.
Yep, 2 X3s.
Yep.
Got up in a different tree.
Yep.
Far enough away.
Like 20 yards probably.
Yeah, it was about 20.
Maybe 15, 20, yeah.
Yeah, and high enough that I was...
We were actually the same level, too.
Yeah, it's funny because I know you were higher in the tree, but I was up the hill a little bit, but it ended up us being almost eye level.
Perfect, yeah. So then, we're sitting there. We get set up before 4:30. Around 4:30, actually. 4:33, I was like, let's get set up before 4:30. We got up at 4:33. We got set up. So then last light was 6:52. We, 7:02 was really last light. 10 minutes after 6:51 was when the sun went down. But before that, it was like 5:30, 5:40.
Yeah, because we had an hour afterwards at least.
So we're there, squirrels are running around, everything's chirping. It's quiet, nice, calm. And then I look around the tree and I see a brown figure walking, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm browning down pretty much right now at this point. I don't know I don't know what it is. And then I look at it again before I go to grab my bow, and I'm looking at it, and it's like I see white on the side, so I know it's a buck.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. Instantly, I turn the camera on, and I range where he's at because he goes to the scrape that I peed in, and he's sniffing it. And then I think he would have worked that scrape if I let him, but I was like, he was standing still perfectly broadside, and I was like, I got to range him.
Yeah.
Exactly 30 yards. Exactly on the dot. And I'm like, I practice 30-yard shots all the time. Like, this should be...
chip shot.
This should be nothing. Right.
Exactly.
But, granted, first time ever shooting an arrow at a deer, any animal, any just target practice, really. And I've been shooting bow for 3 years now. I've been drawn... Yeah.
Just so
compound. I've been drawn back on one doe. Well, no, I shot one up at Mike's. I shot that doe up at that. I shot at that doe up there.
You shot after it, yeah.
Right.
You just used the wrong pin.
Yes, yeah. So, first time drawing back on a buck with the bow, 30 yards, out of state, in a saddle,
life is good.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually gonna happen. Like, this just came to fruition.
Yeah.
So I'm drawing back. First of all, as I get about to draw back, my arrow falls off the rest. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
So I put it back on. Then I draw back. Then I see that there's a leaf literally on my peep sight. I'm like, so as I'm holding it back, I'm like, trying to blow the leaf off.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow off. So I had to let down, put the leaf off. I didn't range him again. No, I pulled back again. And, I get my 30 pin on him. I have everything anchored in. I'm good. My heart's pounding at this moment. It's
fight or flight right now.
I'm not shaking, but I'm like, I can feel my heart beating out of my chest right now. And I squeeze. I thought it was good. He just does a little hop, and then he just trots off with his tail up. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I look at there's a tree, a very skinny tree in front of me with a branch that's leaning over. And I hit the tree. I hit the branch.
Yep.
I hit the branch and it went right underneath it.
I heard it and witnessed everything.
Yeah.
I heard the branch hit.
Yep.
I heard it. Well, there is a expandable broadhead currently
a dead meat.
Stuck.
Muzzy dead meat, yep.
It's stuck inside of a little tiny shrub.
A root, yeah. Root of a tree. I mean, hey, the arrow flew straight because that's exactly where I was aiming. It flew exactly straight. It just dropped because I think what happened is the fletching hit the limb, which caused it to drop.
Yeah, so it was a clean miss.
Clean miss. There was ice, like, because sometimes when you hit a deer, sometimes you won't have any blood on the arrow. Like if you hit sometimes it can get cleaned off on the other side if it has a pass through with, if you hit guts. So it could get cleaned off by the fur on the other side. But I smelled it completely clean. So that arrow is now being hung up because it deserves to be hung up.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna write on it. Never forget.
Never forget. Look for those invincible branches and trees.
Yeah.
Because they show up.
But the funny thing is, like when we got down, and granted, like a lot of you will probably think like, oh, how'd you not know that? Like you have a hunting podcast and all that kind of stuff. But when I was up in the tree, it looked clear. It looked like there was no branches. Like after that little tree right there, it looked like there was like a clear shot down there. But in reality, like it was not a very clean.
Not very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot more
little
stuff,
little twigs and stuff like that.
That could easily throw it off.
Yep.
So I mean, I was impressed that it
made it that far and straight.
Made it that far as straight as it went too.
Yeah, I mean, and he stayed around for a little bit. I was looking at him. I got a few videos of him down there. I could see him moving around. I could see his head and stuff like that. He was in thick stuff. Now that when we walked down that way, we could see it was pretty thick on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping that he would come along the bottom because I would have another shot then if he came through one area, which would have been a little further. Would have been like, I think it would have been like a 35 to 40 yard shot, which I also practiced for 40. So it's like
doable.
It's doable, but with me just missing, it's like, do I have the?
Yeah.
Am I mentally there to take a 40-yard shot at that
mentally
point?
Okay.
I literally, when I missed him, he was still trotting off, and I looked at Ethan, I was like, I fucking missed.
Oh, yeah, I saw I was like, oh, my God. You just, my heart sunk.
Yeah, it was.
Because I knew you missed just off of the sound and how he bounced. Like, damn it.
Yep, and the cool thing was, Ethan had the GoPro. So, I didn't have the second angle on me, but Ethan had the GoPro from another angle from what he could see of that deer. And I had the main camera on the deer. I literally had the only thing that was not recording was the audio. I forgot to turn the mic on. So it was, everything was perfect.
Yep.
And the shot was perfect. It would a 30-yard. It was 30.6. 30.6 yards.
You would have dropped him right there. Wouldn't have gone 20. That darn twig wasn't there.
I was also aiming mid-mast too, like we talked about on the previous episode. I was aiming mid-mast there because but honestly, that would have hit lungs. It would have hit dead nuts lungs.
You would have been dead nuts?
Dead nuts.
He would have been dead nuts.
Yep, dead nuts. But all in all, it was a great day. We found Ethan's buck. I had an opportunity at a buck that actually looked identical to Ethan's.
Yeah, we would have been twins.
It would have been twins. But then we got out of there. It was, if I would have knew about this spot, I probably would have hunted it more often in the evenings, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a perfect spot.
Yeah. I mean, the access was hot garbage, but you kind of had to, because even what Cody Kelly was telling us, a lot of the guys, the way they would access certain spots, they'd blow it out completely. Yep. So you have to take that shitty access.
Yep.
For that spot to work, and we did, and
it almost worked.
It almost worked.
It almost worked. He literally read the script. I mean, it was, the weird thing was our wind was actually blowing to him, which shout out to Scent Thief on that because
we sprayed and he smelled nothing.
Yeah, I don't think he smelled, even when he got below, he didn't smell us. I think he just smelled. He just knew something was up.
Yeah, because it took him, a couple minutes?
Took him like 2 minutes.
Before he started to blow?
Yeah, because he was walking around down there. Just like wondering what the heck just happened.
Unless he got our
ground scent, maybe.
Ground scent from walking up.
Yeah, because we did walk down that way.
And I was a little sweaty.
We both were.
We were gross.
So we want to end this. How long we've been going?
20 minutes.
Okay. So going in blind is fun. Going in blind with a little bit of help is also even better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, here's a pin. Go figure it out.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was for you, but like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because like I never film anything, whatever. It was nice not having to carry the crossbow in.
Yeah.
Because if I had to carry the freaking crossbow through all that, oh no.
Yeah.
No, it would have took twice as long because I'm uncoordinated as it is trying to get that shit through the Greenbriers.
Yep.
It would have been horrible. But it was actually nice to like see you like in action, essentially. So I'm like, okay, so this is how this works. This is cool. Like getting some film. I really got some practice on being quiet, staying still.
Yeah, we were actually very getting in there. We didn't make a ton of noise for as much briars we had to go through. Like it wasn't like obnoxiously loud.
No,
like we did a good job.
We sounded like just some squirrels rustling around. That's all.
Just 2 deer walking through the woods, really.
And I chilled. Like I was so because I thought I was like, all right, dude, I'm in a perfect spot. I got Cody's over here to my right. I can see the deer coming in through here and here. And then I looked around behind me and I was like, oh shit. Like if a deer freaking comes off the top, I might be the reason Cody doesn't get a deer today.
You just have to be like,
oh yeah, if anything happened behind me, like I was frozen because I didn't want to move. Now the only saving grace was like a branch with a bunch of leaves was like covering my entire back. That could have saved me, but I was like, I'm not that high up compared to the incline of the hill behind me.
Yep.
So it would have been very sketchy. So I'm glad nothing came down the mountain.
I really didn't think anything would come down the mountain just because I knew there was a field up there. So I'm like, unless they're cutting the field, that's the only way I think something would have came down because I think they might be still bedded in the field up there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the setup was honestly perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it really was. But yeah, I mean, it was I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed the fact of us going in together, us setting up in the same spot, and doing that. Like we
haven't done that in a while.
No, I mean, the last time we did that, you spooked 2 doe away from me during rifle season.
Okay, that was like the first time. It was the first time we ever hunted together, right? It was just that wasn't shit shouting on.
I went to that, but like today, like when I was looking over there, you were like so still in that tree. Like in the cold world, like you were just standing there. I was like, I wanted to tell you, like, you can sit down. You don't have to stand up. You can sit.
Yeah. No, I was standing, man. I was ready. I was like, dude, I got to get like, Cody tasked me with filming some shit. I'm going to film some shit. Like, it's going to happen. I got the buck on camera. And like, it would have sucked, at least from I mean, I'm glad you had your camera, but like, I couldn't get if the kill shot happened, I wasn't getting it because of that stupid big tree that was in front.
Actually, that tree, I kept looking at the tree. I was like, that would have been a perfect tree to set up.
Oh my God. Like, I thought the same thing.
Like, I was like, why did I not set up in that one?
I said, that'd be a fun one to get up in. Well, would you have...
I don't know. I would have to get in the middle right there, and I'd have to see if I'd actually have, like, shots.
When he came out, yeah.
Yeah. But also, the tree I was in, I probably shouldn't have been in that tree. I don't know. Like, it was just obviously looking back now, I shouldn't have been that tree.
No.
But at the moment, it was a good tree.
I probably would have picked that tree.
Yeah.
To be honest. But I probably would have had my cold worlds facing the other way.
The other way, yep.
So I could actually shoot down where he was.
Yeah, that's one mistake I made, is like not having it set up properly for that. But, you live and learn, I think. I mean, I had an opportunity, good opportunity. And like it was like we said about going in blind, like we didn't go in necessarily blind. We had an idea of a waypoint, but we still had to find that fresh sign to get there. Like we had, like if we didn't find any scrapes, we would have kept moving.
Yeah.
To get to the other side of that little drainage. Like honestly, like those scrapes were like this is the area to be because they're big and they're opening up. So like I'm gonna sit right here. Oh
yeah, and it worked out. I mean, and even going in blind, I don't know. It's kind of better
Yeah.
a little bit because you're
It's
just
fun.
like, you're just going off gut instincts, really.
You
At
don't
that
know
point,
what's in the area.
you don't know.
You could be stumbling into something that I had an opportunity at, or you shot, or you could be stumbling into a possible world record buck. Like it's like,
Yeah.
like in put a lot of time in the big buck, but like sometimes you just need dumb luck to go in there and like find the hot sign. Just not overthink it. I think that's the biggest thing about going blind. Is like you don't overthink it. You just find that sign. You set up.
Yeah, well, and that's what we did for both of ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the night that I got mine.
Yep.
We were just like, okay, they walk here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scrape down there. There's food right here. This leads out to open. I don't know if there's fields on the other side at some point.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, they just travel through here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Set up right here.
Yeah.
Like it was just that simple.
Right.
And sure as shit,
and
one came out.
And that's like why I'm looking forward to going back now, because like the area I have hunting is like, you can scout it, but you can't hang cameras. You can't hang like stands. You can't do that. Like that's getting me excited. It's like going into a new spot every single time blind, and like you have a doe and a buck tag. Now, obviously, PA, it's 3 on one side, so it's not like I can just shoot anything that walks by.
I have to make sure I make that switch.
Yeah, that switch back.
I got to switch back to
I
like
think that's the
3 on
biggest
side.
thing about going out of state is like that switch back. Like North Carolina was like that, where it was like you had to shoot a Y or better. And it's like, and then Maryland, it's like you shoot anything. Ohio here, it's like you can shoot pretty much anything.
Yeah, anything over 3 inches.
Yeah, is a buck. But then anything below 3 is a doe.
And
so
we had either sex tag, so
yeah. So I don't know. It's fun though to look at it that way. But biggest piece of advice I could give listeners before ending this is, don't be afraid to ask questions to locals or to if you have a friend in the area. Don't be afraid to ask, or like maybe they can point you in the direction. I think that's like I was kind of tiptoeing around that, talking to Cody. I was like, oh, well, what do you think about this area? Like, I should be like, hey, man, can you give me some pointers on where maybe to go or and all that kind of stuff? Like, just be straightforward. Like, I think if they're your true friends, if they, there's lots of public land. You're not going to, like, there's honey holes, yes, like the one we were in tonight is a honey hole, for
100%.
Sure, which I'm still beyond thankful that he gave us that. Like, that's just, you don't have to give us a honey hole. Like, that's just crazy to me. Because there's times when I'm like, I don't want to give them my best spot.
Yeah, you get like my plan B or
like
C,
plan
maybe.
C, yeah. Plan C or D.
It's good, but yeah.
You probably won't see anything, but if you see something, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so, 50-50.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think don't be afraid to ask. Like, the worst I can say is, I work really hard for my spot, and, like, I don't really want to give it out. Also, don't be a spot burner if they do give you your spot, so don't send it to someone else. Be like, oh, you should check out this spot. So, Cody, don't worry, I'm not going to do that to you.
Yeah, we're staying an extra week here in Ohio.
But don't worry, if we come back, I will hunt that.
Yes.
But I'll make sure you're not in there first. But yeah, that would be my biggest tip, and also just go in and have fun with it, because I think that was the biggest thing. Read the sign, especially this time of year, this first, second week, maybe in the third week. Just find that hot sign, feed sign, and especially scrapes and rubs popping up. Like, hunt the fresh sign.
Yep.
And don't be afraid to get close to private property either. I think that's a big thing. Like, don't get too close, but like from the people we've talked to, the Georgia Public guys, they've been pretty close to private land in ag. So,
and it was paying off. They were seeing plenty of deer.
They were seeing plenty. So don't be afraid to do that.
My biggest piece is, and I've learned this year, be aggressive.
Be
aggressive. Be aggressive. Do it. If you find sign, you're like, I feel like they're bedding here, they're feeding here, this might be a staging area, like, get in there. Just get in there. If you're hunting out of state, you're only there for a few days. Maybe a week at best.
Yeah.
Right?
Lucky,
Typically.
Yeah.
Just get in there. Like, we had no, like, all right, this is our spot, this is where we're going. Done.
Yep.
Like, tonight, we knew bedding was here or here. We're just going to walk right around. We're staging basically right outside of it.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't We weren't messing around.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, like
be aggressive.
yeah, like to go along with that, like if we didn't know where those bedding areas were, we probably just would have blown through there. So that goes back to also asking, like,
Yep.
even if they don't want to give you a spot, they can maybe tell you where certain deer are bedding, or where doe are bedding at least.
Right.
So that way you can be like, okay, well, I don't want to go through there and bump them.
Mm-hmm.
So like it did help, because we probably wouldn't have taken that way down there if it wasn't for that.
No,
we would just walk that 4-wheeler trail.
In my head the whole time, I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this.
I know.
This is not. I was falling behind you at one point.
I was waiting for you to be like, man, is there a different way? Because
that's why I said I was like, please tell me there's a better way out.
Yeah.
And we found one.
I didn't want to take that way out. Like that would have been.
No, we
I feel
wouldn't
like it
have
would
made
have boogered it up more than anything by taking that way out, because I feel like there would have been more deer at the bottom at that point.
Absolutely.
Than before, but because the one time I was walking with my dad, he was like, yeah, I could tell he was getting angry, and he was like, where are we going? Are we there yet? Why did we take this way? It's like, just trust me.
You got to trust me on this, man.
But yeah, so all in all, Ohio was a good trip. I am glad that one of us got a deer. Very glad that Ethan was able to get one down with his crossbow. Get on the board. Backcountry PA is on the board.
Whoop whoop
whoop whoop. Anything else you want to tell listeners?
I might have to come back to Ohio sometime.
Yeah, I still have my tag. I might come back late season. I don't know. Maybe if I have enough time. If not,
I know where there's a lot of squirrels. I still have a general hunting license. I'll come back, shoot some squirrels.
Yeah, push the deer around to me.
Exactly. I'll help you out. You say, all right, I'm set up here. I'll go this way. Scare them over.
Yeah. Remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Give us a rating, review on Apple and Spotify. We really appreciate that. Helps us keep growing. Helps us reach more listeners and subscribers. We're almost at 1,400 as we drop this. As we're recording this right now, 1,400 YouTube subscribers.
Heck yeah!
So I think if we hit 2,000, I think we'll do a giveaway.
That's fair.
I think that's a fair giveaway.
I think it would be
a hat and a shirt. Hat and a shirt.
Everyone likes free hats and shirts.
Yeah,
I know I do.
Yeah. I know you're wearing one right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Free
deer age.
Yeah, I got 2 free hats this weekend too.
Also check out our partners: XOP, Deer Age, Argonne's Coffee Company, Onyx, Scent Thief, all that kind of good stuff. We have affiliate links in the description of this. Remember to keep hunting,
keep fishing,
and always enjoy the freaking process. Go in blind sometimes. See you guys.
Bye. 32 minutes.